And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We are talking F1 at 2025 and the rookies. Okay, technically Liam Lawson is a rookie because he hasn't done a full season. Yes, Jack Doohan has done one race. We're still classing them as rookies. So, in relation to that, are we looking at the most talented bunch of rookies to ever debut in Formula One all in one go? That was a rhetorical question. Of course, the answer is yes. So, as we nailed into it, this was an interesting article on motorsport.com saying get to know F1 rookies for the 2025 season, which we most certainly will. So, it was a rookie-free season last year. If you remember, from 23 to 24 was the first year ever there were no driver changes. Ergo, no real rookies, even though we had the debut of Liam Lawson, the debut of Oliver Bearman, and the debut of Jack Doohan. 3 out of 4 of the rookies, yeah. Not Bortoletto. So, let's have a look then. Firstly, at Liam Lawson, the most experienced rookie in Formula One. Yes, we're still calling him a rookie. And what do they have to say, though? So, we haven't quite had a dozen races, barely a dozen races in his F1 career. If you remember, he subbed for Daniel Ricciardo in 2023 and then replaced him in 2024. And he replaced him this year, slightly controversially, not because Liam Lawson replaced him, but the way Daniel Ricciardo left. Yeah, it really sucked. So he's going to have his work cut out for him, though, because he steps up not to the racing boards, not to the V car, but to be Max Verstappen's teammate. Boo! I mean, yeah, that is some pressure for the guy. And they felt, obviously the team felt, Yuki Tsunoda, in spite, or despite, if you will, of him doing better than Liam Lawson was still the man. So, as you know, he's been patiently waiting in the wings, and the rumour was he was promised a Red Bull drive last year, which he got. He's struggled to build, it says here, though, which I thought was interesting. However, he struggled to build goodwill with fans since entering the paddock through no fault of his own, after replacing, obviously, fan favourite Daniel Ricciardo, then seemingly leapfrogging Yuki Tsunoda in that open seat. I understand. And they said it's a shame Lawson has not only been put in the work throughout his time as a reserve driver the same, but he's among the nicest guys on the grid. They went on a road trip with him. You can watch the full video. The link is in the description for this article, so you should be able to find it there should you need it. And then his quick promotion, they're saying, is an indication of not only his talent, but how well he operates within the Red Bull framework. Yes, on the other side, someone might argue, well, it's because Red Bull don't have any drivers. But this guy's good. I do think he is. So, which is one of the biggest keys to success in relation to working within or operating within this Red Bull framework. And they say, take it from Alex Albon and Pierre Gasly. And why is Liam Lawson so excellent? Well, this is Liam Lawson versus Sergio Perez. Sergio Perez in the Red Bull in Mexico, where he was maybe a bit near the mark. But as you can see here, absolutely no quarter given. I mean, yeah, Perez, to be fair, Perez did push him off, and then Liam Lawson did the same. Now, in the Max Verstappen era, maybe that's what you want to see. I think it was, yeah, well, I mean, they're both shouting at each other, which is not great. That's what you want to see a rookie doing, though. This is what you want to see a rookie doing in respect of, I don't think it was dangerous. It was near the mark. It was over the top. But I guess if you are a team boss, you'd almost rather see that than someone be too tentative like Lando Norris. He just needs to rein it in, because that's like, Max Verstappen levels of being a bit silly. At this point, Max Verstappen should know better. Liam Lawson is a bit of a rookie. But then it's interesting either, because as I said, Sergio Perez kind of did it to him first. And obviously he reacted. Both of them, I think, are as bad at each other in respect to that. But Liam Lawson, rightly or wrongly, whatever way you feel about it, did feel he had a point to prove. And that he did. So next up, we are going to have Jack Doohan, age 21. His arrival in F1 seems somewhat inevitable, they're saying. He was gifted his first go-kart by none other than 7-time world champion. And it's his birthday today at the time of recording, January the 3rd. Happy birthday, Michael. He got given a go-kart by Michael Schumacher. Who can say that? He's also the son of MotoGP legend Mick Doohan, who is among the least known of the rookie cohort, largely by virtue of the fact he's been waiting in the wings at Alpine while his counterparts have been racking up that track time. And they said he made his appearance on the 11th hour on that what was a truly a truly bizarre decision to swap him for Esteban Ocon with one race. I don't get that. That was still, what were they thinking? Anyway, the 21-year-old, he's set to partner Gasly at the French Alpha. He may have finished outside the points, but he heads into 2025 with one big league race under his belt at least. And they're talking about the bizarre decision. But he's going to make his next debut, if that is such a thing, at Albert Park. And the pressure cooker is most certainly going to arrive, especially with all these rumours about Jack Doohan being replaced by maybe Franco Colapinto, which I guess in some respect could have happened. But the issue with that is Franco Colapinto ended up throwing it into walls way more than he probably should have done. But it says Doan also has hundreds of hours simulator time under his belt, putting in the work at the factory following his F2 campaigns in 22 and 23. Sweet. Although he has the right people in his corner with several wins in his junior career, it says, it remains to be seen just how competitive he is. And I think the ball for both him, Bortoleto maybe, but I think Jack Doohan arguably is under... Him and Lawson, I think, are under... I don't know, they're all under pressure, aren't they? I was going to say they're under the most pressure, but when we look at each of them, there's different pressures in different ways. Now, speaking of Alpine 2024, it was a career of high and lows for the Oliver Oakes helmed operation. Much of the team has been overhauled in the last 12 months for really bad management decisions and getting rid of people, which has been silly. I mean, getting rid of Alan Permain was absolutely... I still don't understand it. So, this is obviously Jack Doohan introducing himself.
Hey guys. Very pleased to announce that I'll be driving for the BWT Alpine F1 team for the 2025 season.
I mean, the issue there is potentially, as I mentioned, Franco Colapinto could have taken the seat. There were rumours about that. And the cynic in me says, that's as much as Franco Colapinto putting it into the wall, I think.
It's a dream come true for me and something that I've been dreaming of since a little boy, hopping into a go-kart.
Oh, there you go.
First time. I have a few weeks' time to let this sink in now. And
I mean, it must be to be fair, it must have been absolutely amazing for Oliver Bearman to get in that team. He went up against Mick Schumacher and he got the nod, didn't he?
I'll be super excited to get back into fulfilling my role.
He's under pressure, I think, straight away because he replaced Danny Ricciardo and... No, he didn't replace Danny Ricciardo. That's Liam Lawson. We'll get into that in a bit. He's under pressure because he replaced Mick Schumacher. He beat Mick Schumacher to the role. Some people are going to be like, I don't know. And obviously, though, that Colapinto rumour, he does need to be good straight away. I think after all of them, though, to be honest. But there we go. That's Mick Doohan. Let's talk about Oliver Bearman, 19 years old, at Team Haas. That's in his Ferrari overalls. Thanks to social media, drivers don't have to wait until they're winning world championships to develop a fan base, they're saying. As such is the case. Oliver Bearman now has 2.4 million Instagram followers, but that don't mean squat if he ends up binning it on the first lap in Australia. I don't think he will, though. He is a teenager, a British teenager. Still, and that's to say he's a charismatic up-and-comer, they're saying, who represents a new generation of drivers, highly aware of their social presence and the audience they're connecting with. Like many older Gen Z athletes and celebrities, Bearman doesn't appear too concerned with crafting a manicured persona, which has allowed him to resonate. And I think that kind of is true. It's real. If fans on social media think this guy's genuine, then his following is going to get more and more, I think. But it said, of course, he owes a lot to Carlos Sainz's burst appendix. Yes, he does. When the Spaniard was struck down with appendicitis in Saudi Arabia, Bearman made his debut with Ferrari, finishing P7, and was the notoriously difficult Jeddah circuit. He made history later in the season when he scored points during his second ever race as well, this time for Haas, after Kevin Magnussen was suspended in Azerbaijan. Whoops-a-daisy, Kevin. Now it says, although he's won several races in F2 and F3, Bearman isn't arriving in F1 with the resume stacked with series championships like one of his counterparts, Kimmy Antonelli, but we'll talk about that in a second. His stellar performances during his first few F1 outings, however, serve as a reminder that results in junior categories are far from the be-all or end-all when determining driver potential. The 19-year-old will certainly be one to watch when he partners Ocon in 2025 and works to push Haas further up that midfield. So, Oliver Bearman, I mean, I'm quite excited about it. Oliver Bearman, I'm quite excited about it. This is a... he debuted in Saudi Arabia at one of the hardest tracks to debut at. So it's such a fast track. It's relentless. I'm not a fan of it. in terms of racing, but it is a relentlessly fast track, and he ended up showing everyone how good he is, which was really, really impressive. Was Oliver Bearman? I mean, this guy is just fast. You can just see his dad's reaction to his qualifying. I mean, there is Ollie Bearman. I think he's it's why they're filming him going to the toilet. But yeah, I have high hopes. Maybe I'm slightly biased because I'm a Brit as well. But I mean, none of us have heard of Oliver Bearman prior, to, if you weren't like a hardcore F1 fan, prior to the 2024 season. You may have known him F2, but then suddenly here he comes in that Ferrari, all the pressure under the world, and he didn't do it, and he didn't bin it. I mean, I think he did Ferrari very much proud. So I think it's going to be quite interesting. So Andrea Kimmy Antonelli. This guy has big shoes for stepping into the former seat of a 7-time world champion. Yes. If anyone can do it, though, they're saying it's Kimmy Antonelli, at least according to Toto Wolff. He's one of his biggest champions. Now, the only issue I've got before we get into this with Toto Wolff is Toto Wolff, we've had so many mixed messages from Toto Wolff in relation to Kimmy Antonelli, simply because I've got a cough. These mixed messages came from Toto Wolff saying, I want Max Verstappen, but I always knew Kimmy Antonelli was the one. But Max is great. But Kimmy Antonelli. Max Kimmy. And it got really, really confusing. But the Mercedes team principal, it says here, is convinced the Italian teenager is the next Verstappen. And the team took a massive leap of faith by signing him shortly after Lewis Hamilton. I wouldn't say shortly after. But Antonelli's story already has the makings of a fairy tale. In 2018, the then 12-year-old was paired with Hamilton as a grid kid at the Italian Grand Prix. Remember, you're the best, you can win this, the youngster told his hero, who then went on to claim victory. Just 6 years later, Antonelli's replacing him at Mercedes, the 18-year-old who brought back-to-back championships in F4 before finishing 6th in his maiden F2 campaign. Disappointing a lot, but then it shows F2. The team, for whatever reason, with these new F2 cars, were really, really struggling getting that to work. He's been described as a generational talent and touted to win the first Italian to win his F1 race since Giancarlo Fisichella in 2006. There's no doubt he has the hopes of an obsessed nation on his shoulders and more than 1 million Instagram followers to prove it. Yeah, social media. I mean, as I said, that means nothing if you end up binning it. And sadly, I mean, this is going to live rent-free in my head until we go to Australia. He was mega fast, but he came in to the Parabolica and then did a whoopsie-daisy in Italy in his practice debut. I mean, that was just so embarrassing, wasn't it? But he had amazing wins and amazing races in Formula 2. I mean, this is him again. I just feel for the guy. Here we go. Look, they're done. Don't know why I did this skid. No, it's really immature of me. So, but he's got big shoes to fill. Last but not least, and I don't have a video to show, sadly, is Gabriele Bortoleto. He's entering F1 with what is an unblemished record in the hopes of an entire nation hanging over him. That entire nation is the Senna obsessed nation. Understandably obsessed, because I completely agree. Brazil. The Brazilian was relatively unknown until he started winning in Formula 3 races and eventually won that title in 2023. The following year, he joined an illustrious club featuring Leclerc, Russell and Piastri, all of whom achieved back-to-back F2 and F3 championships. So if Leclerc, Russell and Piastri did it, well, you've got to be thinking this guy is good. I mean, Kimmy Antonelli and Oliver Bearman were in that same F2 bunch. So Bortoleto, who inked a deal, I think, Bortoleto inked a deal with Sauber shortly before being crowned champion, impressed throughout his entire 24 campaign with his most notable performance, a feature race in Monza where he climbed from last to first, eat that Max Verstappen Brazil. When he was approached by the Swiss outfit, he had no qualms signing for the team, set to become Audi. He does have roots as a McLaren driver development under the development program, given the Papaya team's long-term commitment to both Piastri and Norris. It's kind of like, well, yeah, where are you going to go? And Sauber, they're saying it's going to be a perfect low-pressure environment before the Audi come in to take over that team. And he's got a very good teammate in terms of Nico Hülkenberg, so it's going to be really interesting how he does against him. The team's expected to remain pretty much at the back. Once again, I think keeping that very much low pressure. But there you go. That's pretty much the rookies we talked about. If you enjoyed that, please give us a subscribe. If you just by clicking on this video, though, is amazing. Just by watching it is amazing. Making it to the end And Try Not to Cough is amazing though. So thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. Hit that notification button though if you like these videos and you do not want to miss one. We talk about Formula 1, we talk about World Rally Championship, we talk about BTCC, we do the odd bit of gaming as well. But just watching it is enough. But if you want to help that bit extra, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the like button and comment below. I do read all the comments. Sometimes I can't reply to all of them because sometimes real life gets in there, but I try to reply to as many as I can, even the bad ones. Anyway, on that note, stay safe and thank you very much.